The ocean. It's one of the many things that draw people to Myrtle Beach. But is it safe to swim in? The short answer is yes. But how do we know? DHEC has worked with Myrtle Beach for many years, collecting and testing water samples for levels of Enterococcus bacteria. High levels of this bacteria can mean there are other organisms present that can cause people to get sick with gastrointestinal illnesses or skin infections. The results of these tests are analyzed, and then, if needed, an advisory is posted on the city's Check My Beach website.
We're getting them to other safety tips that are associated with the beach. I, in many ways, have a greater fear of someone dying from drowning than I do from them getting sick.
Brian Rabin is the manager of aquatic science programs for DHEC. He says there are two different types of advisories, temporary and long-term. A temporary advisory means it isn't safe to swim within 200 feet of a sign posted on the beach. These advisories don't usually last very long, maybe a day or two. A long-term advisory, on the other hand, is based on data that has been collected over the past 5 years. Bacterial levels may be higher in these areas, mostly because of stormwater runoff. DHEC says it is still safe to fish, wade, and even collect shells in these areas. Parents, however, are advised to not allow children to sit in the water here. That's because kids are more likely to put their hands in their mouths, bringing the water with it.
We always stress that if you have a compromised immune system or open cuts, make sure you protect those. Make sure if you do have the immune compromised system, it might be better for you to think about, do I really need to get in the water and swim in a natural environment? Just because there's always a risk. We can never say it's 100% safe. That's the last thing you'll ever hear me say.
According to Myrtle Beach officials, the city has spent $77 million over the past 25 years on projects to ensure the water quality for visitors is safe. And DHEC says these efforts have paid off.
It has gotten better. We had a master's student look at a couple of the outfall pipes that they've put in, and we could see a statistical difference that, yes, around those areas where we had the pipes, our advisory numbers went down.
And while Myrtle Beach's water isn't as blue as the Bahamas, Rabin says it's because the water is a rich environment. The water color does not mean the water is not clean. The darker color is caused by changes like storms or wind.
There's a couple of reasons that you'll see that change. If there's been a storm, if there's been a lot of wind, and depending on which way, it will be stirring the sand up that's there. And that's where you'll see those waters begin to become a little more murkier or a little browner. It's just because that water's been stirred up.
Test results show Myrtle Beach's waters are safe to swim in, leaving you one less thing to worry about next time you visit the beach. Caitlin Luna, News 13.